Social media is one of the biggest cults in the history of the world.
Hmm.
So what I've focused on is building my personal power, staying focused on the things that help me do that. And when I have to enter the matrix, if you will, being really on my guard about it, and not in a paranoid way, but just really guarding my energy. And if I encounter material or people that I realize are potential looshers and they're everywhere, then I will not engage that situation.
Yeah, yeah, and you develop a sensitivity to it. For me, I've never been on a anti, violence crusade or been a Puritan. But for me, even a lot of movies I find now watch now, I just find so dark and like just gratuitous, and I just got to turn it off. I feel that it's just putting me in a bad headspace very quickly. And have you
Mm.
noticed that's the same? Just in like general sensitivity to things, the more you kind of deprogram.
Yes, I felt I feel like there have been phases for me in that, like when when I was when I felt like I had been loosed and I felt that I had less power than I do now, I was more susceptible to that. So I think that, power is its own insulation in some ways, its own protection, its own armor. Maybe that's the armor of God. I don't know. Um, but the, if you think about the messages that are coming through in our mainstream uh, media, in our movies and books and that kind of thing, yeah, most of the time it's really dark, or it's perverse and twisted in one way or another. And this is not an ethical judgment, it's a power judgment. You can just feel what it's doing to you or trying to do to you as you watch it.
Yeah.
And there's not really a redeeming quality, and you're not given us there's no denouement and resolution that leads you to think about things in a potentially powerful way, you know and I compare that to, for example, the last two novels that I wrote, where there are difficult things that happen in those stories that can be even disturbing. So on the one hand, yeah, I'm using some of the same tropes and techniques that we see in some of this popular entertainment, but when you get to the end of those books, you are in a very different mental and heart space. It's much more uplifting, positive, solutions oriented, and provocative in a good way, in terms of how do I process this story now personally, and what do I do with it? And it can really take you upward. And I say that because I believe it. I also say that because, you can read the reviews and see what people have said about these works. That this is Cali the Destroyer and Snooze.